welcome to our log-in look-ins now for week 3. What I want to do this week is I want to take you, maybe during this time of isolation, you've been thinking about prayer or Bible reading, or maybe you've been a little bit discombobulated. And I want to use a couple of verses from the book of Hebrews. And there are 7 descriptions in these 4 verses that I think help us for the 7 days of the week in how we focus and how we focus our thoughts upon God. It's found in Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 to 4. And because there are 5 days, Monday to Friday, I have 7, so some of the days this week there'll be 2, just to help us in our focusing. Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 to 4 read, "Long ago, at many times and in many ways, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. He is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. He upholds the universe by the word of his power, and after making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become as much superior to angels as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs." On the 21st of May, 1882, C.H. Spurgeon, after reading Hebrews 1, 1 to 4, said, "I have nothing to do but preach Christ." And if you like, through our 7 little days, with our 7 descriptions of God that help us focus on him, really we've nothing to do but focus on Christ. 7 descriptions of Jesus. So there are 7 days in the week, and maybe think about how you might use this week intentionally to use these words, these points. Maybe you might encourage 7 friends, 7 different people, send 7 different emails, whatever, as a way of encouraging one another this week. So the first thing we see for Monday is Christ is the heir. Verse 2. Christ is the heir. If I were to ask you to think this afternoon of a person who's extremely wealthy, obviously not I, because I'm a poor pastor, but imagine someone with riches and treasure beyond comparison. But that person has only one son. Basic logic would indicate that when the rich man dies, all his wealth and treasure is inherited by the one and only son. All that belonged to the father is now the son's. Titles, property, estate, wealth and fortune, everything that was owned by the rich man is now in the hands of his son. But we're told Christ is the heir of all things. What does Paul say in Romans 8, verse 17? He says, we are joint heirs with Christ. So if Christ is heir of all things, and we are co-heirs, joint heirs with Christ. If we are in Christ, then we inherit everything of the Father, with him as sole heirs. It's not an inheritance that's split up, but everything. Wow, we inherit what Christ inherits as heir of all things. So every Monday, wake up, look at the alarm clock, and don't say, "Ugh, another Monday morning." Say, "I am God's heir." People who have trusted in Jesus look forward to eternity and to splendor and to worshipping the Lamb. On Mondays, read Revelation 4 and 5, 21 and 22, and look and see what you inherited, what you inherit. The Queen, Her Majesty, has been addressing the nation recently in different broadcasts. Look at pictures of Her Majesty in her crown, holding her orb, her scepter, in her robe. And I actually see that those things are puny compared to your inheritance, and marvel. Thank God that he's generous and that you are an heir. Thank Christ that you share in his inheritance. What a thought. Would any earthly prince share his inheritance? King Jesus does. On Mondays, remember, Christ the heir.